Welcome back to Intuitive Innovations. I'm Luna Goddess. We are normally at 216 Creator Studios. Shout out to them. They're producing me locally in my own little home studio today. Listen, if you've been feeling off, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, if you've been feeling stressed or just not like yourself, you're not crazy. Let me start by saying you're not crazy. There's been a real shift in the energy. I felt it. Maybe you felt it. And our bodies are just not capable of processing as much energy as we've been receiving in your emotion, in your nervous system. So you might be feeling tired. I know I have been, maybe more sensitive. I've cried almost every day this week, processing your thoughts that you've already worked through, right? Like almost feeling like you're re-traumatized again, my loves. I want you to process through this. I'm going to give you the gifts today of talking about the energy. So, Nico, let's start with that first one with the Schumann resonance. Let's talk about what's been going on here. Now, mind you, I am not an expert on Schumann. That's not my area of expertise, but I want to kind of elicit, if you see these very deep seated, almost looks like an iceberg lines, these are those light codes that came in on 4/8. So a couple days ago on Wednesday, you may have been feeling some kind of sort of way, maybe energized, but they go straight from the top chakra, our crown chakra, all the way down to the root chakra. On Wednesday, my throat got scratchy. Like Tuesday into Wednesday morning, my throat was scratchy. And that's not my energy. I don't get sick. I know exactly energetically what I need to do. And then physically, the supplements I need to take that keep me healthy. Everybody else got extremely sick with upper respiratory, flu like things this year. We breeze right by it. And don't forget, we're in gross casinos a lot of the times, or we're traveling around, or I'm working with clients, or I'm absorbing different energy as an empath. But this knocked my ass out. And maybe it did you too. Speaking in my communities across social media, a lot of people have been feeling a certain way. So let's not judge ourselves for that. What I want you to do is I want to bring some support to you. You're not broken. You're not advanced. I was talking about this yesterday that we get to different summit levels, right? Like base camp 1, base camp 2, as we're on our spiritual journey up to the summit of understanding self and others. Because you're not broken, you're processing. And this is what you're supposed to be doing. This energy is of the Schumann resonance. Now, Schumann resonance sits around 7.83. That's the heartbeat of Gaia, of Mother Earth. But something has been happening. I have my suspicions. I'll keep them to myself. But I will say this, you'll see these lines. So you can take a look and follow this. I talk a lot about it in our communities when I'm live on TikTok. If you're feeling off in a certain way, I encourage you come in for a reading. Or if you're really feeling discouraged and almost having these symptoms of hopelessness, helplessness, please reach out to me. My QR code is up in that corner right there. Let's get something scheduled. It's time to invest in yourself like you invest in your physical health, your mental health. Now the spiritual health is finally needing that support. So, as I said, there are these moments of collective energy where the emotion rises. And this is part of that right there. Grief, fatigue, irritation. I'm telling you, the other day, Wednesday, I had to go out and run some errands. And I was like, I literally was out for maybe 20 minutes and I was like, humanity and I are not getting along well today. I needed to get the hell home. Maybe you're feeling disconnected, helpless, hopeless. Maybe something that bothered you from 15 years ago is resurfacing, and that's okay. Maybe you don't even have the language for it. It can feel like it's wrong in you and you're the only one going through it. Hello, Nessa. How are you, beautiful? Okay. This is actually a moment of a release and a recalibration. Kind of think of it as almost like your spiritual GPS is kicking in. This is where spiritual support can come in. It's not in a complicated way. It's not in a performative way, because I know some of us feel like we have to perform our lives. You're supposed to be enjoying your life, not performing it. This is real, usable, and everyday ways that you can bring spirit in and your spirit team and invoke them to help with the support. So that's what we're working with today, is kind of when you feel off, how can we use our spirit team? How can we bring in those archangels? So today we're talking about archangels and angelic allies. And some of you may be like, Luna, I don't know who the archangels are. Listen, I was raised a Catholic. I know about maybe 3 of them. But in my spiritual quest and healing and in doing my intuitive work, I've come to realize there's so many more resources we can call in. A lot of us pray to Jesus. I do as well. But it's far beyond just one man. It is far beyond that. There's a whole team of people that have different responsibilities. Think about Jesus as like the CEO, and there's different divisions of people you can call. You can go straight to the CEO and be like, hey, CEO, we got a problem with this. Cool. But there's also these other divisions you can go to, and those are those archangels. So, who are they? What are they commonly associated with? And how do you actually work with them in your real life? That's important. So, let's talk about this. I always laugh when I ask people, what do the archangels look like? Because they have this concept of it almost being like medieval or the time when we were going through the Renaissance, right? That Monet, Renoir look of the angels. Can you go through that image for me, please? When I say, what is the one of the angels of? This is what people think when they think of the archangels. They think they have the long flowing hair, that they are in these adorned robes, they have the glow and the halo, and they have the wings. Now, here's something interesting. In my lifetime, I have interacted with angels. But I want you to think about this. This was the concept when we had people writing poetry and creating art and music in that area of the Renaissance. And look at even just the coloration is very pastel and Renaissance. But do you think if this angel showed up in this time in 2026, that this is what they look like? Do you truly believe that they would come flying and flittering in with these flowing capes? No. They looked like that back in the time when they could perceive and understand. I have worked with angels, and I tell you what, they look more human than you'd ever understand. And I'm going to show you my version of what these archangels look like. So we're going to swap this image out of what people had perceived to welcome to the real archangel team. Now, something you might notice is there is diversity in this because all the archangels look different. They come from different cultures and genders, but this is the more modern way that they look. And I'm going to walk you through each of these archangels. So we'll keep this image up so you can get a true understanding of who they are, how you can use them, and how you can bring them in. So I'm going to start with my favorite. I don't pick favorites. Sorry, archangels. I love you, but I do pick favorites. Okay. My Archangel Michael. Let's talk about Michael. Oh my God. Michael has actually shown up so many times in my life. A time where my kids weren't with me. They were with their dad and their grandmother, my mother, in Disney. That's a whole different question why my ex-husband was hanging out with my mom. That's a whole therapy session, different day. But they were in Disney. My kids at the time were 8, 10, and 15. And they got lost. Absolutely lost from my ex-husband and my mom. And Disney can be a little bit of a sinister place too. That's a different story, different day. But they were lost, completely lost. Michael showed up. And my kids said when they came back home, they're like, there is this man. He was a large African-American man, similar to what you see with my Michael over here, right? Wherever I'm pointing on the screen, I don't know. And he literally walked them back to where their car was parked in the parking lot. And they described him, and he said, he looked very military. He was a large African-American man. And I said, oh my God, it was Michael. Because in my world, this is what my Michael looks like. So let's talk about Michael. This is your protector. So of course, why wouldn't he look like somebody that skipped leg day with the big old arms standing outside of that New York club saying, oh, this is no access to Luna. Like, no, you're not getting in here. That's my Michael. So when you talk about Michael, he's your protector. This is your go-to when you're feeling drained of people, you're feeling unsafe. Maybe you're in an unsafe area. You need stronger boundaries. Oh my God, as an empath, I didn't understand boundaries. I just didn't. I didn't understand how people energetically drained me and physically, beyond just the spiritual draining and the mental draining, they were making me physically sick. Physically sick. So Michael comes in. Michael's energy is about truth, strength, and protection. So if you feel uneasy in a situation, sometimes I'll be somewhere and I'll be in a crowd of people and I'll call Michael and I'm like, hey, Michael, I need some support here. Come in, take care of this. Move these people away from me. Move the situation away from me. Get me home safely while I'm driving. Help me see the truth in the situation with the people I'm dealing with, because um, I don't feel that they're being honest with me. Give me the strength, right? Give me the strength. You can simply say the following: Michael, protect my energy. Cut any cords that are not mine. That's important. Okay. Help me stand in my truth. A lot of times people will literally plug into like a Tesla charging point, and the next thing you know, you are leveraging energy that was not intended for you. Or people very harmlessly will tell you their life story and dump their trauma onto you. And if you're a sensitive person, you will absorb that. And they'll be like, "Oh my God, I always feel so much better when I talk to you." Oh, really? It's probably because you're trauma passing. You're trauma passing like it's past the plate at a potluck dinner. Don't pass me your trauma. I can be a supportive person, but I cut that cord. That's not my energy. Okay, you may have been trauma dumped by generational curses on top of you. If you are struggling with that, to cut that cord, Michael is a resource. I'm an additional resource. Reach out to me. LunaGoddess.org has so many fabulous protocols, individual sessions, from a mindset hack, heart set hack, to the total body alignment, the divinity and the Trinity, the mind, body, spirit. Furthermore, I have resources that you can use on the daily. All you have to do is ask for the help and support. We're here for you. Okay. So that's Michael. You just need a big bodyguard. You need somebody to help protect your energy, keep it clean, keep out the riffraff. You're calling Michael. Sitting next to Michael is going to be Archangel Raphael. In his medical, he's a hottie doctor. He's in his medical look. And this is literally what he looks like to me. I had this conversation with ChatGPT. I said, "These are my archangels. Please create them." And damned if I was like, "Damn, this is what they look like." So Archangel Raphael is physical healing and restoration. I pray to him every night. I call him in every night, just like Michael. So if your body feels exhausted, I'm a manifest generator on human design. If you know anything about that, I have to use up my energy on the daily or I can't go to sleep. Your nervous system feels dysregulated. Put a thumb down if you've ever felt dysregulated, okay? Or a finger, not a thumb. I guess that's my thumb. Put a finger down, right? You feel exhausted, right? Or you need healing physically. I have a friend that just went through some surgery, and I said, call in Raphael, call him in, ask for the help, ask for the support. So he's in that medical attire, for lack of better words. Raphael brings calming, restorative energy to your body. You can say, "Raphael, support my body, help me restore, regulate, and heal." So if you're feeling almost like you're in a fight or flight, freeze, fawn, dysregulated nervous system, he's one you can call in as an archangel. Furthermore, you can call on me. We have the supports. We have the physical supports, the mental supports, and the emotional and spiritual supports that you need. But if you don't do anything, you're always going to keep getting the same results. It's the definition of insanity. Okay. So the top three that you see here: Michael, Raphael, and then of course, Gabriel. Gabriel reminds me of, I laugh so hard because for me, I feel like he's just this HR director that's like, "Luna, what are you doing now? Like he runs around with a clipboard going, "Oh God, Luna. No, Luna, don't say that. Don't do that. Let me inspire you with some new information." But he really, truly just runs around, and I call him the communication and truth. So he like sits me down as if I'm in an HR meeting every day, and I'm like, "Look," and I pray to him every night. I'm like, "Help me to be in my most intuitive alignment to serve the greater good." But here's what you can call on Gabriel for. You feel stuck in expressing yourself. Maybe that third chakra is blocked. For so many years, I turned off my gifts to appease the people I was with. I shrunk myself to fit in instead of belong. The Luna you know now is not the Luna I was. This has taken a lot of alignment and healing and therapy, whether it's traditional therapy or more of spiritual therapy, which can kind of accelerate growth a little bit faster, in my opinion. So you feel stuck in expressing yourself. You feel you need clarity and direction. You feel you need to find your voice. That will inspire you. Gabriel will inspire you. And like I said, to me, he just reminds me of my HR director saying what I can and can't say. So what I say to invoke him, Gabriel, help me speak clearly, help me express what is true for me. See what I just said? What is true for you? What is true for me? Your truth and my truth may be very different truths. That's why I say there's always three sides to every story. You form like this triangle of my truth, your truth, the truth. And it comes together because perception becomes reality with people. So I ask Gabrielle to help me understand and bring in my personal truth. Okay. That's very important. Now, as I said, Raphael is for body healing. Uriel, Archangel Uriel, sitting right next to Gabriel, is for emotional heaviness. This is the one I would call in right now because we are feeling emotionally heavy. Maybe you're scared about what's happening in the world. Maybe you're going through dynamic change in your life. If you're Gen X, your kids are moving out. Maybe you're on the brink of divorce. Maybe you've lost a loved one. You're processing some heavy emotional healing. This is that archangel you can call in for some support. So Uriel brings light into emotional heaviness. This is when you call on this archangel, you feel emotionally overwhelmed. Shit, I've never met anybody that felt underwhelmed. Have you ever woke up one day and go, oh my God, I feel so underwhelmed? I don't believe I've ever heard that statement. I may be wrong. You can feel peace. You can feel tranquility. But I've never once in my entire 50 years of being on this planet said, I feel underwhelmed. I have said I feel overwhelmed. I feel burdened. If you're processing sadness or grief, okay, a lot of loss is going on right now. A sweet friend of mine and a supporter of her on TikTok just lost a cousin. Said, hey, it's a lot of grief. It's a lot of grief. I didn't anticipate to feel this way. I get that. You need grounding insight. You're all over the place. Your energy's scattered. You're feeling fractionalized. You just need some lightness to the darkness you're going through. Let me let you understand something or explain something. We all live in the darkness. We all live in the light. And in the shadow is where we integrate both pieces of us. No one person is 100% light. No one person is 100% darkness. There are such variances. But sometimes we need the support, either in human form by reaching out to me or in spiritual form by reaching out to these archangels. Right? Like I said, you could pray straight to the CEO and go to Jesus. He's a good dude. Or you can talk to his team. He has this team in place to help love and support you. I hope you start using them. Okay. So for Archangel Uriel, you can say, Uriel, help me process what I'm feeling. Bring light and understanding to this. Help me process what I'm feeling. Bring light and understanding to this. That's absolutely so dynamic. Okay. Archangel Metatron. I don't mean to laugh. I love Archangel Metatron, but I feel like the Transformers. And to me, I always feel like he's this dude on a motorbike and he could like, wah, 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 wah. Like, what is the noise for the, I can't make the noise for the Transformers, but it's like he would transform into something. And that is so crazy when you think about what Metatron is doing. It's for higher perspective and alignment. So of course he's going to transform. So in my world, Metatron looks like a dude, all slick back on a motorbike, like racing through transformation and spiritual awakening. It's super cool. I wish I could make that transformer sound, but I can't. So Metatron is higher perspective and alignment, zooming through your spiritual awakening with you. You can call on him when you feel disconnected from your path. Oh my gosh. My path is, I always want to say it's like, bless the broken road. It's winding, it's changing, it's dynamic. I think I've had so many iterations of myself that if I got them all in a room, they wouldn't fit in like an auditorium. Maybe you have too. Okay. You are going through transformation. We're all going through it right now. We are transforming with Mother Earth. So whether you like it or not, congratulations, you signed up to be on this third rock from the sun, spinning like crazy, learning. You are a spirit embodied in a human experience, but it's the spirit that came down for these lessons. Okay. You want clarity on your next steps, right? So I feel like Metatron just says, hop on the back of the motorcycle when he needs to help take me to my path or get back in alignment or say, have you looked at this? Luna, do you want to see where you're going? I'll give you a sneak peek. So I love that higher perspective and alignment. You can say the following: Metatron, help me align. And that's what my whole perspective, that's my whole life's mission, is helping people get to their personal alignment, right? Help me align, help me see the bigger picture of where I'm going. So if you're needing to feel that alignment or bigger picture, that's absolutely where you want to be. Okay. So right now, feel free if you have questions about any of them as I'm discussing. I'll present all 10, and then we can have a chat about them and how they can impact your life. Next one, let's get to the heart of the matter. Archangel Chamuel supports love and emotional healing. Oh my God, I wish I knew more about this archangel when my heart was broken. And I felt, and it wasn't just once. Oh my God, my heart has been broken into so many pieces that I've turned it into a beautiful mosaic. When you're an empath, it hits different when you get hurt. It hits different when your heart gets stomped on. It hits different when somebody you love betrays you. It just hits different. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not trying to say, oh, I feel more than you do. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying extra sensitive people or people that have extra sensory perception go through it at 1,000x than people that maybe don't process it the same way. It's almost a blessing and a curse in a way. So this archangel supports love and emotional healing. You're going to call on Chamuel when you feel hurt in relationships. And it doesn't have to be amorous relationships. It could just be the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with your family of origin, the relationship you have with a lover, maybe the relationship you have with a friend. But if you're hurting, the relationship you have with your children, okay, as you get older, and I'm Gen X and my kids are getting older, right? They're 23, 18, and 16 at the time of this podcast. I'm not the center of their support anymore. They're sufficient. And my role as a mother has to change dynamically to give them roots and wings. And that's hard. That's hard because I don't want to say them depending on me, but relying on me to help and to serve. But it's changed, right? So you need compassion for yourself. Chamuel, you need compassion for yourself. We're so hard on ourselves. Please extend that compassion that you could extend to other people to yourself. Maybe you want to return to love instead of fear. Oh my gosh, I've talked about this so many times. Don't close your heart when you get hurt. There are two systems we operate out of: love and fear. Evil, the bad, the negative, want you in fear. They want you in fear because they can control you at a lower vibration. Love is that other system. Even when you're breaking, even when you don't see the dawn, even when you feel like you don't understand your place in this world, turn to love. Turn to simple gratitude. Turn to simple authenticity. And that will bring you up to a higher vibration. And obviously, call in Chamuel if you need that. You can say, Chamuel, soften my heart. I wish I had this before when I was younger. Soften my heart. Help me return to love and compassion. And I did say this today, simply because the heaviness of this and wanting to make sure that I don't harden my heart. I want to keep it as big as I can. And shout out to a sweet friend of mine that will be on the show. Her name is Tammy Dublin. And she is a shaman and a healer and an intuitive and an incredible friend. And yesterday we did a session. I was actually on the other side of the screen, so to speak. And we talked about these things of healing. Can't wait to bring her on the show. That will be an incredible show because she's an incredible human being. But just a quick shout out to her. Moving on. Archangel Zadkiel, I don't work with this one very much, but I'll explain kind of what you have to do. And maybe I should really start to work with them because I'm petty sometimes. Maybe you are too. And I hold grudges. And this one will help with forgiveness and letting go. I sometimes feel like the hurt that was done to me, the wrong that was done to me, almost become like Girl Scout badges or like maybe not even Girl Scout, that's not strong enough, like campaign badges of when you're in the military. And I wear them proud on my chest, like, this was what I survived through. So and so did this to me and they hurt me here and I did that. And it's not that I don't forgive them. It's just that I recognize the trauma that I went through. But sometimes you got to let that go. And this archangel I don't work with often, but I know a lot of people hold grudges and they can be very petty. I'm one of those people on occasion. It's powerful for emotional healing. Okay, so you can call on this archangel when you're holding on to resentment. I've done that. I think I still do that to a point. Like it's some badge of courage. You're replaying the situations. Oh my gosh. And I work with a lot of clients where we do a mindset hack where the tape in their brain, it just keeps playing and playing, living rent free, where they're replaying the situation, things that have long since passed that nobody even thinks about other than them in their minds. If that's you, please reach out to me. You need to release emotional weight. Drop the backpack of pain. Drop that resentment. Resentment's a big one. Drop that hurt. Okay, understand that we're all having human experiences and that people don't do things to you, they do things for you. And that's a hard one to understand. Okay. Zadkiel, help me release this. Help me move into forgiveness and peace. Help me release this. And help me move into forgiveness and peace. Strong. Moving on, loves, and hopefully you're getting some understanding of these archangels and you're feeling connected to work with one. You might not feel connected to work with all of them, but one might resonate with you. Pick one, pick a couple, pick a handful based on what you need. Save this, share this with somebody you love, this podcast, because we all need a little angelic support in our day. Archangel Raphael supports your thoughts and mindset. Let's go. Mindset is everything. This is what I work with a lot. She and I feel like are very connected. I see it as a she. You can see it as a he. However you perceive a gender is not assigned. So if you're stuck in negative thinking, you're overthinking. I'm a Capricorn. I overthink everything. I have a plan for plans. I have a plan for my plan for my plan. I have an emergency plan for the plan of the plan of the plan. Okay. You need a mental reset. Okay, so what you do to call this one in, like we're trying to get into alignment. This is the most sought after session that I have. Is called my mindset hack. We also do obviously the goddess alignment protocol, the ancestor healing. There's all of these protocols I have in place, but the one-on-one mindset hack is what everybody comes to with me because they feel stuck. They're overthinking. They need a mental reset. They need to start to thrive instead of just survive. So hopefully it'll help me shift my thoughts, bring clarity and beauty back to my mind. Bring clarity and beauty back to my mind. Bring peace back to my mind. Your mind can be such a treacherous place because not only does it trick you, it almost intentionally causes you pain on occasion, right? Keep it going. Archangel Haniel. One of my favorites, deeply connected to intuition and emotional flow. Ooh. And like I said at the beginning of this podcast, we feel overwhelmed. We're feeling disconnected. We feel like almost dammed up with how we're feeling. We can't release. When we let emotion get sticky in our body, that's autoimmune, that's cancer, that's a ton of allergies and destruction to our organs because we're not letting the energy flow. When energy gets trapped in an unhealthy way and not processed, that's how you get yourself sick. That's how you get yourself sick. So we call it Haniel when you feel disconnected from yourself. Oh, when you feel kind of disembodied, when your energy is off, when you feel off, when you feel robotic, right? You need your trust and you need your intuition. Look, we call it gut instinct because your gut is your second brain. I've talked about this. You need good gut health. If you're not certain how to do that, or your go-to is driving through to get your dinner, please reach out to me. Okay. I'm not throwing shame or shade on you for eating fast food. I'm just telling you, you're destroying your gut. And if you don't balance that out, that's the center of your intuition. That's the center of your serotonin. That's the center where you get to have kind of that feel good hit. Most of the serotonin doesn't come from the brain, it comes from the gut. So ask yourself this hypothetically. Do you think we live possibly in a world where they're trying to diminish your feel good hormones and your intuition by what they put in our food and water? Hypothetically asking, just asking for a friend. I am friend. Um, Very importantly, Haniel, help me trust myself, help me move through my emotions with grace. Okay. When you feel overwhelmed, help me move through my emotions with grace. Very importantly, we don't want to feel stuck. We want to process, we want to heal, we want movement. Move through it with grace and listen to your intuition. Like a lot of the times, intuition will hit and you'll be like, no, that doesn't make sense. Like you're driving and it says, take a left instead of a right, take the long way instead of the short way. Learn to trust your intuition, learn to trust yourself, learn to get back into an alignment where this isn't difficult for you. Okay. Last one, Archangel Santaphone. I don't use this archangel very often, but connects you to prayers to the divine. I feel like for me, and a lot of people may turn to this one because obviously it helps with you feel unheard, you want to feel connected again, you need grounding. I've become very proficient with my grounding and connection, and I can go straight to source on a lot of things related. But you can say, receive my prayers, help me feel supported and connected. I brought this one in, but this one is not one of, it's on the spiritual team for me, but not necessarily my go-to, right? I will go ground myself. And by grounding, I mean, I take a goddess bath every night. And that includes something like the magnesium flakes. And if you're not sure what I need or use, I can just reach out to me. I'll show you what I use on the daily. Magnesium flakes with baking soda. If you know, you know. And in that, I literally feel alive in the water. And my water, as I'm there, I'm thinking and doing what we call glamour magic, adorning myself as I'm washing. I'm grateful for my arms. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my legs, whatever part at that time, blessing myself with the water, right? You think about how we do that when we're young in baptism, for example. You can go and be restored in that water, right? So being grateful in the water. Grounding might also look like hugging a tree, getting your feet in the ground, truly living in the energy of Gaia, right? Now, mind you, she had a little bit of a panic attack when we looked at that graph. And these are the archangels. This is your go-to team. Plus, you have people in the flesh like me and other healers and resources that are on the ready for when you need some support, for when you need some protection, for when you need physical, emotional love, healing, intuition, all of that, mindset alignment. But this could be your go-to team. So I recommend save this podcast, share this podcast, allow yourself to understand that you have more than just yourself in your corner. Even when you maybe feel lonely or abandoned, or you've abandoned yourself to try to fit in, there's a whole team ready. All you have to do is call upon them. Call upon them. And they're part of your spiritual protection team. Okay. I'm going to open it up to a couple of questions. I'm going to keep talking a little bit about this, about the energy and about what's healing. But please, if you have a question, go ahead and throw it in there. Let's see if I can serve you in some way about the Archangel team or how I've used them, and tell a couple stories about when they've shown up and how they've shown up. And a couple other angels that maybe, I truly believe they're angels among us. The Lord let me know when I was little that my older cousin is my guardian angel. I'm very sad when she passed away. She's still your guardian angel. She might not be in flesh, but spirit. Remember, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So she's your angel and she's your guardian angel. She's just in a different form right now. Very importantly, she's in a different form right now. You are able to call upon her for protection. And maybe she can stand with one of these other archangels, right? These are kind of like the divisional heads of CEO, CEO Jesus, you know, God owns the company, Jesus is the CEO. And, these are our divisional heads we can call upon, but that doesn't mean she doesn't work directly under the emotional healing, the protection, right? Call upon her. If in the flesh she protected you, in the spirit she'll do even that much more. She's not gone. She's just different, right? As we're looking at some of those other questions, I'll tell a story. Oh, we've got another one. If I'm dealing with a great loss, which archangel do I need for spiritual support? Oh, that's a great question. Processing the loss, you could call upon a variety of them. Which one, right? Which one resonates the most with you based on what I've said? Which one resonates the most about the healing? Because I see an intersection where we could call on a bunch of them. Uriel is for emotional grief and support. That would probably be the first one I go to. Uh, she's sitting right next to Gabriel, but there's a lot that could be taken. Maybe that grief has you feeling lost, completely lost on your mission. That'd be Metron. Maybe you just feel like you don't have the mindset to keep going. That'd be Raphael. Maybe Aniel, because you want to trust your intuition again. Because maybe you're cursing God at this point. People do that. When you have a loss, you're like, where was God during this? Where was God during the crisis? Where was God? Always there. And and I use God interchangeably with universe, with all of the terms that we use to understand the spiritual realm, right? So, very important. I feel like, okay. And what connects you? I wonder what really connects you. What connects you there? And absolutely, you can call Archangel Uriel. You'll know what feels good for you. You'll know what connects for you. When I feel hopeless, when I feel small, and I still do, even in my 50s, even after a lifetime of living, even knowing that friends, some of them didn't make it to this age. Some of them didn't even make it at a teenage age that I know. I'm blessed and grateful that I'm here doing the work that I love, being the most authentic version of myself. But sometimes I feel small and sometimes I'll feel insecure. I will feel that way and I'll be processing emotion, and I understand how to do that. Because when you're on your healing journey, you never get fully healed. We're not here in this world, in this form, to be healed. We're here to learn the lessons and work towards our healing. Healed is a final destination, and it is not our purpose. So I always tell people, I support your healing, but you're not going to make it to healed. And that's okay. That's okay. So as we sit here, when I feel small, I will call in Michael. I will absolutely call in Michael and say, Archangel Michael, like, scoop me up in your arms and almost hold me and let me. And I know he's just for protection, right? Not just for, he's like my fave. Like I told you, I don't have a favorite, but if I had to pick a favorite, damn, I'm calling in Michael. Like I feel like he just sits there and he'll hold me and I'll feel a sense of peace. Every night, the top three for me are obviously, I don't know, I kind of recycle them as I need them, but Michael is a go-to every night. I ask him to protect the energy in or around me and in and around my family, my home, remove any energy that is not of God and not of my highest vibration. Get that shit out. I don't want it in here. You have to remember, I do a lot of work with a lot of demonic shit, for lack of better words, demonic shit. From the stuff I do as a medium to the paranormal stuff that I do. And if I'm not careful, stuff can get sticky. If you're not careful, stuff can get sticky. If you're experimenting in this intuitive paranormal realm and you don't know what you're doing, be careful. Be careful. So taking in that protection team. I wish I'd known more about Chamuel. I don't know a lot. Um, but my heart might start reaching out to her because I feel like I want to keep expanding my heart. And that was one area in my chakra system. I remember Cinnamon and I, my husband, uh, he's also a streamer. We were in Sedona, and this was the summer. It's a true story, right? Talking about energy and talking about the chakras and talking about the alignment of these angels. And we went into this one store, and I've been there. I've done this now 3 times. This is my 3rd time where they read your aura and they read your, actually more like read your chakra system. And you get a report. And I should almost share this report. My husband does his. It's pretty normal. His chakra systems is bless him, but his upper chakra systems from the heart up are a little bit smaller, right? His intuition, maybe speaking his truth, his throat chakra, like he just hasn't leaned into it. He's having a beautiful spiritual awakening since we've been together, but there's just stuff he's still on his journey to do, right? The guy does mine. He goes, I have never seen a chart look like this because I've done thousands of these readings. I have done, and he actually called over a colleague and he's like, you have to see this. And I kid you not, it was like imagine like these are from the lower chakras, right, very aligned. You get to my heart chakra, it was like 16 times the size of my other chakra system. And then up into my intuitive one, which was just lit up. He goes, I've never seen. And you've got to remember, they work in Sedona. So like they've got tons of people. And it's not just something he was saying. He was a very honest autistic man. And he's like, I've never seen anything like this. He was flipping his shit. And I'm like, well, sir, I don't know. I've got a big heart. He goes, I don't think you're human. I possibly could not be. Because sometimes I don't feel like it either, sir. And it was just a really beautiful exchange, but a constant reminder that this may be a way to look at those archangels is how do we see them through our chakra system? So go down to that root chakra, and that might be a cool way to process this. At the root chakra is about protection. That root chakra is about just being safe, feeling safe, having all of those necessary Maslow's hierarchy of needs of protection and food and safety. And that could be Michael. Michael could be bam, right at the root chakra, all the way up to processing your intuition with Haniel and a couple other ones, right? All the way down your chakra system. So, as I think about that, maybe that's what it really is. Maybe all of these archangels have domain over your chakra system. And that's the intersection of that Christianity with the Eastern philosophy of where we pull chakra systems from, the Indian understanding, right? There's intersection. And if you think that these religions don't intersect, if you think that spiritualism doesn't intersect, if you think you've been a little brainwashed, respectfully, because it's so much bigger than just one religion. It's so much bigger than the spiritual woo-woo. It's all intersecting for your betterment, for your understanding, for your integration of the lessons that we have, the blessings and the lessons, because nothing is, again, done to you. And I felt the umbrage. I felt the attack of feeling like, why is this happening to me? I've asked that question a gazillion times. I'm sure you have too. But it's happening for you. It's happening for the lesson. It's happening for the blessing. Okay. So just accept that. Accept that. Understand that. Negotiate that. Okay. As I'm remote, I'm not able to really leverage the chat so much. I know that there's a lot of questions coming up. So I'm going to take some time now to answer those questions, reflect on what we talked about, and kind of get that understanding. So one thing, you don't need ritual. And that's the most important thing. People think you need some big, like, even if you look at Mass, for example, I'm Catholic, there's a lot of ritual to it. from genuflecting to the holy water to the Psalms to the prayers to the whole format of church is ritual, like it or not. And ritual is just another way for routine, but you don't need that. You don't need to be perfect at it either. Oh my God, I am a recovered perfectionist. You just can say things out loud. And if you're like, you forget their names, or you're like, who does what? Or who do I pray to for grief? Which was one of those questions. Or, all you have to do is say, hey, listen, I'm praying to the archangel that handles this. Okay. Think it, journal it, integrate it into your daily practice. Remember when we write something versus type something, and if we write it in cursive, our brain retains it a lot differently. Support is not meant to be complicated. It's about intention. And quite honestly, as you see on that QR code, you can scan that and reach me at any time. You can also send an email to info@lunagoddess.org if you're struggling with this. I'll say now, there are a lot of beautiful products and resources. So again, too, if we're talking about emotional regulation, if we're talking about healing our body, we're talking about magnesium, L-theanine, we're talking about ashwagandha 66. There are tons of resources. As a wellness practitioner, I can put you onto those as well. So that way you're supporting your body. Because at 50, I'm making sure that I am allowing myself to age gracefully, that I'm giving my body its support and needs. And I'm recognizing that as I've gone past menopause, where I am emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and how do I keep allowing my beautiful spirit to be supported in my aging body. I'm 50. I understand that my mind thinks I'm in my 20s. So does my behavior. But I have to support a body in a way that is authentic and loving and compassionate, right? So there's that. Let's do a couple affirmations and we'll go back. Well, actually, let's take a couple questions. Are there any questions that I've missed? I don't want anyone to feel like I didn't recognize them. How do affirmations actually help regulate the nervous system? That's so crazy. You just said that. That's a fabulous question. Affirmations allow your brain, like when you say them out loud and you integrate them into your thinking, and actually that was the next session we were going to go to, is affirmations. They allow your brain to believe what you're saying. Because remember, we call it spelling. Okay. The words that come out your mouth become your reality. They become the antenna and the beacon that signals to the universe, this is what I'm questing. This is why so many people struggle with manifestation. They struggle with wanting to bring good into their life because they sit there and bitch about the bad. Well, what are you doing? You're complaining. And when you complain, you get more of what you complain about because that's the frequency you're on. So affirmations switch that frequency up a little bit. So let's look at a couple of those. You're going to take a deep breath with me. Now, the kind of breath that pushes your stomach out that you're trying to hold in, like it could fit in your jeans from the 1990s, you take the breath, you fill your lungs, you use the oxygen to push in the good and breathe out the bullshit. Okay, here we are. I am supported. Here's an affirmation. I'm supported even when I feel off. My loves, today I felt off. I didn't know what was going on. That's part of the reason I'm streaming from here. When I feel that way, I recognize what Spirit's telling me. And I sit down and I listen. Okay? I release what is not mine. Oh, Christ. You do not need to heal or to feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. You do not need to feel that friend that keeps dumping their bullshit on you. And maybe they're really not a friend. I had a friend like that who literally, he would call me for hours on the day and just complain. And I finally said, listen, I care about you. I worry about you, but I don't need to hear the complaining anymore. It's not my burden to hold because it would make him feel better. And then he wouldn't get into a fight with his partner. But that wasn't my responsibility. I can be a dynamic friend, but at a point you have to protect your peace too. My body is safe to soften. Oh, my body is safe to soften. Sometimes I have to remind myself that chip on the shoulder that came from that young girl growing up in Chicago, trying to understand safety and security. that she can be soft. Vulnerability is a high frequency because it's authenticity, but it's scary as fuck. And I said that. And I purposely used the F word. I am guided when I cannot see it. Oh, faith is all about not being able to see something and believe and know that even when you feel like you're in your darkest hour, the sun's rising, loves. Okay. The sun rises inside of yourself. That Christ consciousness comes up. Okay. And again, I know that I seem to be very Judeo Christian right now with what I'm talking about, but please see it can be applied across to any religion. It's about understanding you and your spiritual team. So I'm going to pull some angel card numbers because we're talking about angels. And if I missed a question, please let me know. And if you have questions and you're watching this, maybe not live, but you're listening to the podcast on all of our different streaming sources, just reach out to me. Reach out to me at info@lunagoddess.org. Furthermore, if you are a company looking to sponsor the work that we're doing, you can reach out to us there, or reach out to us at 216 Creator Studios. But because we're constantly looking to align with companies that are conscious about consciousness, that are conscious about intuition, that are conscious about supporting our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. All right, let's pull. Let's start here. Okay, important relationships. 411 is the angel number. And this says, see the value in those you love. See the value in those you love. You are called to select one relationship close to you and nurture it in an attentive and loving way. Think about how to tell a loved one how much you care for them, appreciate them, and see them in your life. Make time for them today as you communicate how important they are to you. Who are you guys going to choose? Who are you going to reach out to and really let them know, with no intention of feeling reciprocity in the statement, with no transactional style love, but true, beautiful love? I love you. I'm grateful for you. You enhance my life. You enrich my life. I encourage you. That's your homework. Reach out to someone. Let's see what another angel card comes up, my loves. And again, if this keeps you feeling heavy, please consider reaching out. Who are we loving? We're loving ourselves. 483, inner acceptance. Guys, receive self-love. Oh, please. In addition to understanding your archangels today, this might be the most important message I give you. So lock in here. Receive self-love. The quickest way to find acceptance in your life is to first gift it to yourself. Your angels notice that you need to work on positive self-talk and self-care. Sit in meditation right now with your hands on your heart chakra. So right here. Repeat this mantra a few times until it begins to sink in. I receive self-love. I receive self-love. Oh, guys, powerful stuff there. Powerful stuff. One more, because, divinity and the Trinity. Let's see what else we got. One more, spirit. Oh, breathe with me, guys. Breathe with me. There is some stuff ahead, and I'll tell you in a second. Y'all need it. I told you the energy was off. Inner strength. Inner strength, 153. Positive results are ahead. You have declined the right thing at the right time. Your angels are applauding this recent focus on self-discipline. The toxic things you say no to produce positive results in the long run. And by making these decisions, you're telling the universe that you're worth the effort it takes to live your best life tomorrow. Sit in gratitude as you reflect on the goodness you've done for yourself when you said no to something that isn't for you. Listen, this is beautiful. We say no to things that aren't for us. We don't. Listen, back in the day when I was a mom, there was the mama mafia. And you had to be a certain mom and the baby Bjorn and the stupid strollers and I knew the kind of mom I wanted to be. And it was different. And I am different. And I'll say when you say no to what doesn't align with you and belong to you, you're empowered. You're empowered. You're empowered to become the version of yourself that you're meant to be. I guarantee you, and I hid this unfortunately for so long, my gifts, talents, skills, and abilities, because I didn't want to embarrass my kids. Like honestly, when I became a streamer and they knew my gifts were going out into the public, not just my private practice, but now into the universe, right, of social media, they begged me not to because they didn't want to be embarrassed by me. But I think about all the significant people over the last year as I've exploded on social media platforms that I've connected to, the friendships that I've made, the life-changing moments. I can honestly tell you there are multiple people that have come back to me and said, because of you, I'm still here. And that there's nothing more rewarding than knowing that you helped somebody fight another day. There's nothing more rewarding than knowing that I've helped someone live in their alignment, reduce their suffering, help them work with their body to heal something they never thought they could heal, either emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. So if it's felt heavy, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, if you're hurting, you do not have to go this alone. You are here. You are valuable. You are loved. I encourage you, please, to reach out. I have resources. I have sessions. Though I will say this, my schedule is getting very tight. It really is. Throughout the week, I opened up a couple sessions on Saturdays to accommodate people, but I'm down to about 8 sessions a week, and that's it. So if you're serious about that, whether it's working with me one-on-one, working with one of my protocols, working with one of the tools or resources, there's tons of ways to start living in your alignment, to start moving away from that energy of feeling disconnected. I highly recommend you reach out. You know how to get a hold of me on the QR, info@lunagoddess.org. But take a moment today, pick one of those archangels and start to establish a relationship with your angelic team. But more importantly, start to establish a relationship more with yourself. Give yourself that self-love. Give yourself that time. As always, we stream almost daily on 9 o'clock on TikTok, Central Time. We are available. Come on in. Come be a part of a community that truly cares. With that said, go today. Go ahead, go into this weekend. It's going to feel a little bumpy energetically again, knowing that you have a team that surrounds you, both angelically and here on earth. And as always, you can reach out to lunagoddess.org for more support. May your day be blessed. May you find the miracles in it. And may you always continue to seek your intuitive innovations.